Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation's Love Morning. Welcome, love ambassadors of all, types, kinds. What I meant to say is welcome, love ambassadors. And if you don't identify as a love ambassador, let's change that because you are fully qualified in this moment. We all have the ability to spread good vibes, to increase the good in the world, to be vessels of love and kindness. People say, man, if I could I want to make a difference in the world. You are making a difference. Everything you do has rippling effects into the world. It's the butterfly effect is happening at all times. So what do you want the effect of your ripples to be? That's what we have a little bit of control over. What's the energy we want to bring to things? What's the vibe? I saw a meme that said, something like, we watch science fiction movies where people go back in time and obsess about the massive impact that just a little bit of action can do and if we upset something in the past. But we don't think about that we are living in the possibility of making massive impact in the future. With little actions, butterfly, butterfly, butterfly effects. Of course, I think in that example, the butterfly wing causes a tornado. So maybe we want to steer the effects of our butterfly wings into more positive ways. Although we don't know. I would say, you don't know if your positive deed might have a butterfly ripple effect that leads to something negative. It could. But I would venture to guess that love and kindness ripples beget more love and kindness ripples. Good morning. I am John Halcyon-Stin. This is a daily gathering, a daily practice of sharing gratitude and reminding ourselves that we are love ambassadors. That's why I kind of hit that heavy on the intro here because I was kind of remembering last few days that well, yes, this is a gratitude gathering. It is also a place to remind ourselves that we can stretch. We can, with a little bit of adjustment to our intentions for the day, we can live very purposeful lives. And that it can be so easy to fall into patterns of not bothering people, getting your stuff done, staying out of people's way, and forgetting that we have the opportunity to be love ambassador, to be putting those ripples into the world, to be impacting our environment in positive ways. So I am grateful for the opportunities to remember that. I'm grateful for a conversation I had with a friend the other night and talking about our lives, and which really helped me remember this ongoing, constant intention in my life and our lives. Good morning, Gerbot. Gerbot says, I'm a butterfly. You're a butterfly. Yay, butterflies. Right? And we're also caterpillars. Maybe a cooler way to look at the butterfly effect is that not only does the wing flapping affect the environment that could cause a tornado, but the process of going from caterpillar to butterfly, those are the ripple effects that I think are really interesting. What does our personal evolution have to benefit the world? Unknown, but I think it's exponentially more significant than the flapping of our wings. The continued evolution, the continued personal work of removing the obstacles to love, of removing the, not maybe removing, of toning down, of calming, of getting control over our traumas, of becoming less victimized by the patterns of behavior that we've inherited from generations of I don't want, just people doing the best they can. And as we can evolve past that stuff, if we can, and I'm so hesitant to evolve past. If we evolve, just it's a process. It's not a binary thing of I am broken, I am fixed. No, it is a process of continued evolving, stage after stage after stage of less like a caterpillar to butterfly and more like a lobster continually shedding the shell that no longer can fit its new body, its new spirit. I started here and I forgot to sing, and who knows what the inspiration brings. But if we come together in the morning, I don't know if you're asleep and snoring, but it's time for gratitude and it's lifting our attitude. And if we share the good stuff we share inside, it's gonna be a fun and groovy ride. Welcome to Love Morning today. Welcome to Love Morning. Can't wait to hear what you say. Whew. Didn't forget to sing a song or make up a song. Good morning, Natalia. Happy Friday. And hello to anyone who might be watching this recording. It is Friday. I'm in San Diego, California. It is a pale blue sunny sky, not a cloud in sight. I am quite joyful today for a few reasons. One, I had no coffee this morning and I am still feeling clear-headed. That is exciting to me. Often to really get in the groove by 9 o'clock, I am 2-3 coffees deep, and I haven't had coffee in over a week, and I'm feeling excited that I think my brain is not foggy right now. So grateful for that. And grateful that Lisa got home last night. My beloved, my fiance, my best friend, my life partner. She was recording music and at a studio for the last few days and got home late last night. And I'm grateful that my surgery went well yesterday. And I'll tell you more about that in just a second. Gearbot says, I'm grateful for getting a mainsail. No, second mainsail ticket for the first time in years. Easiest ticket experience ever. In and out in under 15 minutes. Congrats. Going home. He's talking about Burning Man tickets. If those of you who are here are not part of the not a cult of Burning Man. I am not getting a ticket this year. It's a very strange feeling to not be moving towards plans and excitement for the playa. I most of the time I am so confident in my decision to not go this year. And occasionally I'll hear people planning and preparing, or I'll see a Facebook memory come up with some photos, or someone will tell me an experience about the burn or something about Pink Heart, and I have a longing. And part of that longing is just that, it's after such a huge part of my life for so long, I haven't done the Indiana Jones bag of sand for the gold totem yet. I haven't quite substituted something else into my life to take the space of all my Burning Man passion. Urban Monk says, I have gratitude today. I got a new job. After 8 months unemployed, I go back to work next week. Congratulations! That's fantastic news. Hooray! And any of us that are feeling that we are frustrated by our jobs, we can hear your news and be like, right, we can have gratitude for our jobs because it can be frustrating to not have one. And it can also be, you can have gratitude to not have a job, or gratitude for a transition, gratitude to be forced into new opportunities sometimes is the best thing for us. I do not have alternative plans. I mean, as far as the time that I was going to be spending planning for the burn, I'm going to try to put towards planning a wedding next year. Well, I wanted to share my really cool headgear and my surgery yesterday. So I had a hair transplant yesterday. They shaved a little strip of my hair back here and then cut out this piece of skin with all my follicles in it, then pinched the skin together, stitched it up. So I've got a big little cut stitched up in the back of my head. Then they separated all the follicles, 1,400 follicles, and re-popped them in around this area around my head that got now a bald spot. And I have a spot where I've had a cyst removed, so I have like a bald little circle from that. So they also put some hairs in there. And, as I was kind of showing him where I've had cysts and I have a couple, he said, this one's got a little something on it. You need to see a dermatologist. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's nothing. And I'm grateful that in this non-critical medical procedure that I had potentially pointed to something that may be a important medical observation. So hopefully it's nothing, but if it is something, thank God that somebody was looking so closely at my scalp that they saw this thing that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So this is the cool surgery hat that they gave me afterwards. I have to keep my head out of the sun for a while. I didn't realize it was quite so long. And no going underwater in a hot tub for a while. But there's a few ways that they can do. I've still got like dried blood in my hair, which I'll be able to wash out today. So I'm grateful for a smooth surgery. I'm grateful for attentive and friendly doctors and nurses, and grateful that the pain is much less this morning than it was last night. Grateful that I was able to get a little bit of sleep. I have to sleep with my head elevated 30 degrees for the first few days, which is a lot harder than I thought, especially since I have a big scar on the back of my head, so that's like painful. So I did not sleep a ton last night, but I'm grateful I got some sleep. Griffith says, who knew hair plugs could be a potentially life-saving procedure, right? I mean, again, I'm assuming it's nothing, but wouldn't that be wild? I hear about that more frequently than you'd think of somebody, you go in to get a test and then they find something that they wouldn't have, or you discover something bad through a very unintended journey. Good morning, Lisa. Lisa says, happy finally. You even pull off that look, sending much love and light. It's funny. I walked around the neighborhood yesterday as I was kind of just stretching my legs and talking to my brother on the phone, and there was somebody walking around. I think they were a salesperson, so like going door to door. So the fact that he gave me a compliment was probably part of his sales training. But he's like, "I love your hat," and I'm like, "Thanks." Dun, 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 dun. Gerbot says, grateful for access to excellent medical care. Amen. And Lisa's grateful I had a procedure yesterday with the lesser of evils diagnosed. Good to hear. That's the lesser. Beautiful. I'm grateful that Lisa 2 got back late last night, and this morning, her birthday's tomorrow. But I said, hey, I need to give you one of your presents today. So do you have time? And so I took her out to the backyard and had her kind of look at the ground so she wouldn't see. And I walked her all the way out to where I planted the rose bush. Because I bought the rose bush and it had one rose on it that smelled incredible, but it's already kind of started to fall apart. And I thought, like, if I waited till tomorrow and she didn't notice it, it could have no flowers. And I really wanted her to smell it. So walked her down this morning and she got to smell the beautiful fragrance. And it was just a wonderful start to her birthday weekend. So looking forward to more celebrations. Good morning, Juan. Anybody else want to share something they're feeling grateful for today? I'm grateful that I've got access to a nice beach condo that we're going to go to tonight so we can wake up to the ocean tomorrow for Lisa's birthday. Grateful. I'm so grateful she's back and got to laugh with her this morning. I really enjoy her company and her smile. Lisa says, Lisa's love to start celebrating early. Juan says, staying beautiful is not easy. It's, I guess it depends on the kind of beauty you mean, but I don't mind working hard to maintain beauty. I'm grateful for I've been fairly cautious around news and political news, but I'm grateful for a few things that I've read and watched recently that either made the insanity easier to digest or was a strong statement. Like I watched, I love Seth Meyers, and he did a closer look, I think it was yesterday's, maybe 2 nights ago, about if you watch Closer Look or you look it online, it's about the dolls, and kids now will have to survive on 2 dolls instead of 30 dolls. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But I was laughing hard out loud a couple times. The content was challenging to listen to, but the delivery and the writing of the piece was so clever. I had a lot of admiration and gratitude for the field of humorous newsmen, news people, news givers. Good morning, High Noon. And the other thing that I saw this morning was several people in my feed. They shared a speech. I wonder if I can get to it quickly. Maybe not. I think it was a Republican senator. I can't find it now, but it was saying, like, hey, it really spelled out really beautifully, like, some of the challenges with recent presidential actions and bypassing congressional, the will of Congress that legally has been decided by Congress and being disregarded by the president, and really calling that out as and acknowledging, like, I understand that you don't like this thing, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't do this thing that bipartisan Congress has approved. And I thought it was I really appreciated the way it was communicated. Now, that being said, the fact that I appreciate it probably, means that somebody who's not in the same political spectrum of me probably thinks it's BS. But Let's just scrolling really quick, see if I can find it now. But I've been really focusing lately on not being overtly and outwardly talking about politics. And if I feel like if there's action items, I feel like if there's some degree of information or awareness that has impact, then I will revisit the decision to speak less about the news. But as I, at this stage, do not know how any amount of energy can be transferred into impact, I am steering clear. Sarah, good morning. Sarah says good morning and grateful to make it live with us. Nice. Heinen says, I am grateful to talk about love kindness, inner love kindness to ourselves, bring it to the world with more peace and prosperity. Hear, hear. Anyone else want to share a little bit of gratitude? Gerbot says, I love Seth. He helps make the news a little bit more bearable. I also love Corrections, his humorous reaction to the YouTube jackals. If you don't already listen to it, my favorite podcast, like the only one that I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday, new episode, is Seth Meyers and the Lonely Island podcast. You kind of got to appreciate old Saturday Night Live, but if you do like old Saturday Night Live, I just find Seth and the Lonely Island guys to be, including Adam Sandberg, they're just so quick and funny, and they have such a long friendship. Just really enjoy it. I just started listening to Amy Poehler's new podcast, like Hanging with Amy Poehler, something like that. And a few of those I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed her conversation with Jack Black. It's fun to hear very talented people gush over how much they appreciate one another. I think that's one reason like Smartless is so fun. It's like the worst interview show. Like their interview questions are terrible, but they just unapologetically appreciate people, and it's fun to hear that. Any other last gratitudes? I'm going to keep it low key today. I've actually have a doctor directive, no strenuous activity for weeks. So, oh darn, because I was just about to start my intense powerlifting exercise. So I guess I'll have to wait on that. Sarah says, grateful to trust as love ambassadors we can rise above, unite, and overcome the perceived weight of a certain few in politics. Gerbot says, I like that podcast too. They're great. Andy's hilarious. I love the background stories. Great recommendation. Yeah, they have great stories, and just they're dynamic, like it's like they're sometimes they're inside joking each other, and you don't quite follow it, and then they come sometimes and they'll explain it, but not always. And there's just something about like it feels like you're hanging with them as opposed to them like doing a show for us. And yeah, I love smart, quick people. That's like to me in terms of like talents that I admire the most, or intellect, the types of humor, like improv brilliance is my peak admiration. People that are incredible improv, and Amy Poehler is incredible. Seth and Adam are incredible. I like to listen to Comedy Bang Bang. Often has some incredible improv people on there. I used to listen to Matt Besser podcast. If you ever listen to Middleditch and Schwartz on YouTube, no, not YouTube, excuse me. You can see clips of them on YouTube, but the show on Netflix of Middleditch and Schwartz, that's some of the best long-form improv I've ever seen. Okay, I'll read these final gratitudes, and then we will hug and head out into our day as love ambassadors. High Noon says, I am grateful for making a meaningful connection with a brother who has a nonprofit that I'm collaborating with. Incredible. Thank you for sharing. Urban Monk says, I'm so grateful for the late night crew of Seth Meyers, the Jimmys, the Stephen Colbert, and John Oliver. Their comedic look at the news helps handle our current political situation. Yeah, if you're not laughing, it's hard not to cry. Thalia says, grateful for my canine fur baby, Max, who will be 15 next month. He makes me smile every day. Well, happy early birthday. Speaking of birthdays this month, or next month, Lisa's birthday is tomorrow. My birthday is the 28th. My brother's is the 22nd. Well, I am grateful to share this morning with you. Grateful to be on the path of healing with my head, and grateful for Lisa's return, and grateful for an opportunity to appreciate the little things today, the flowers, the friends. So if you've got some extra moments today, try to notice what are the flowers that are in your daily life. I had an awesome message from someone who was here the other day as we were talking about flowers, and they wrote me after the show and were like, you know what, I thank you. I actually went outside and noticed some flowers that were in front of my office that I'd never even, I walked right by them. I never even noticed them there. So thanks for that nudge. So I nudge you today to notice what's blooming around you right now in your world, in your neighborhood. I bet there's more beautiful things around you than you're aware of. Thank you, Gerbot. I'll plan to be here tomorrow with the understanding that we are planning to wake up at the beach condo, and who knows, but maybe I'll even get her to join me. That'll be my plan. So I hope you enjoy this beautiful day, and I hope you have a chance to notice the beauty in the world and to share your beauty with the world. And so wherever you are, give yourself a big old squeeze. Feel this incredible physical, thriving system that you are inhabiting. Be grateful to be alive in this world, in this time. Grateful to be connected to fellow vessels of light and love, fellow love ambassadors, to inspire one another, to amplify our gratitudes, to help us to notice all the things around us, to appreciate. As we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful ambassadors of love, thanks for joining today. I love you. Happy Friday! Hugs rule. You said it. Until tomorrow. And if you know anyone that might want to join me June 8th for the Heart-Centered Men's Day, pass the word. Have them reach out to me. Still have like 4 or 5 seats available. But I'm feeling really good about it. So no pressure. Just kind of trying to remind myself. Oh, there's a new Stay Sparked episode as well about marketing in a social media saturated world. Oh, and as long as I'm doing promos, if you are in San Diego or Monterey area, California, and you enjoy karaoke or singing at all, really encourage you to think about joining Lisa's choir. You can even come to the first practice and just see, is it something that you want to do? Highly recommend.